Good afternoon and welcome to a very hot and sunny St Ives. Not St Ives in Cornwall, for those of you in the comments, St Ives in Cambridgeshire. Some like to call it the original St Ives. Today I am going to be doing 9 holes of a really fun practice format called Worst Ball. Simply, I hit 2 balls from every location and I pick the worst one and then hit 2 balls from there and continue until I finish out the hole. It's the opposite version of a scramble format where you obviously play better ball. The theory being that you really need to zone into every shot that you hit to make sure you hit good ones all the time. And so I'm going to play 9 holes of that and see how I can go. First tee shot here is today a 4-iron off this back tee, just up to the left hand side of that bunker hopefully, and a little flick onto the green. So 2 tries, hopefully 2 good tries. Pretty decent strike, it's just going to come up short of the bunker. It's almost right on top of it. There's probably about, I don't know, 10 yards between them. Pretty good start. This was the first one that I hit. This one was in the fairway, so I think it's fair to say this one's slightly worse if we are playing worst ball. It's 135 yards from here to the flag, so I'm going to be hitting a little pitching wedge. Flag's a little bit on the left hand side of the green, so the line wise is almost directly over this piece of gorse to the left on the top of the hill here. Bit of a push. Oh, that one looks like it was a bit closer towards the flag. Better line. Pitched as though it, or sounded like it pitched on the green. We shall see. This is where those 2 have finished. The one on the left hand side closer to the flag there was the second one. So sadly I think I'm going to be playing from the one on the right hand side. Okay, this is my birdie putt. And I guess you can already see the idea of this drill. It's all about consistency. What I'm trying to do here is make sure that both of my shots are as good as they can possibly be to give myself as many chances at a par as possible. Not the greatest. That one's probably finished 3 feet short, I would say. And so we're going to try and get this one inside of that. That's a much better speed. And of course the other thing this is going to do for me is it's going to put a bit of pressure on my short putting like this, because of course if I hole one of them, great, but if I miss the other one, then I have to play from where that one's missed to. So it really puts an emphasis on zoning into these little holing out kind of putts to make sure that we don't make any silly mistakes. Putt 1 for par. Good start. That's the way you want to start a game of worst ball, is making a par off your worst 2 shots. So, 3-1 hole, level par. One of the great things about this format is that it really gets you to think and think strategy when you're on the golf course. So, what I would normally do on this tee box is I'd hit a driver. However, there's quite a lot of trouble hitting driver, and what I don't want to do is hit one really good one and then put one in the cack somewhere and have to go and play from there. So as an idea of trying to play a little bit more sensibly here, what I'm going to do is hit a 2-iron straight towards that bunker on the right hand side of the fairway, and it shouldn't reach, and then I can play hopefully 2 shots into the green from there. Attempt number 1. That is as good as you can hit it down here. I hope that swing looked as good on video as it felt. Definitely not as good. Might still catch a piece of the fairway. It was a little bit out of the heel, a bit squeezy. It's just going to be short of the bunker on the right hand side, but probably still in the fairway. 2 iron was the right club. Here's a good tip for you. Don't try and put a pencil bag which doesn't have any rigidity to it on the back of a golf buggy. Not easy. This is where my first one finished. Nice proximity to the hole there. My second ball was not as good and is back over there. So that's where I'm going to be playing from. This really shows the benefit of a good strike, because I reckon this is a good 30 to 35 yards short of where the original one was. Hence why this game is brutal, but hopefully makes you a better player. From here, I've got 180 yards to the flag. It's right at the back of the green. You can probably see it's a white flag. And over the back of the green here is dead. So I'm going to be playing a 7 iron, trying to aim for the middle of the green with both of these 2 shots. That's an absolute worldie of a golf shot. An absolute worldie of a golf shot. Let me show you where that's gone. There it is, just to the right of the flag. Pin high, I think. That was a cracking golf shot. Now I've got to try and do the same again, or better. I suppose if you hit a good one to start, then as long as you hit a half decent one second time round, then you're going to be absolutely fine. It's obviously the right club. Ah, tugged it. Get out of the sky. Sit down. Ah, rats. This is where the bad one's finished. With this chip onto the green from here. I'm just going to show you where the good one was, because the good one was very, very good. Here it is. But sadly, I've got to go and pick that up and take it off the green. Well, you may have seen in the past how average my camera placement is for some of these sorts of shots, and I'm hoping that I'm learning as we go, and this is going to be in frame for the whole lot. Hopefully you can see me and where the balls are, and hopefully you can see where they finish, unless I thin it straight into the camera, which actually, looking at where I've put that, is a possibility, but we've got to think confidently. Ooh, that was close to being good. That's better. That was definitely better. Although it looks as though the second one's finished out of frame. Ugh, as always. I'm so bad at leaving the frame in the right place. Is that going to be in? Doubtful. Ugh, rubbish. Ultimately, the goal now becomes to try and make a bogey, and nothing worse than a bogey. Oh, I just didn't hit it. Oh, one in front, one behind. Just to prove I'm taking this seriously, I'm going to knock both of these in. And that is a bogey. Something you want to consider on really every tee shot, but certainly on par threes, is your tee position within the tee box. You'll notice that I've moved myself right over to the right hand side of this tee box, and that's based on the fact that this flag is on the left hand side of the green. If I teed myself off over on the left hand side of the tee box, I'm playing with a much more direct angle to the flag, so potentially a slightly shorter distance, but give myself less margin for error. Playing from where I am here, I'm playing across the hole more, so I actually give myself a bit more margin for error, and hopefully that means I've got a chance of getting a bit closer to the hole. It's 165 yards off this back tee today. I'm going to be hitting an 8 iron. It's slightly, there's not much breeze today at all, but it's slightly downwind. I'm going to be trying to hit the middle of the green twice. Well, unless I hit a really, really bad shot with this one, I'm probably going to be playing from there, because that was not good. That one's gone in the right bunker. Yep, that one's just on the left-hand side of the flag. This game is hard. Not a great position to leave this in. Clearly chose the right club because I'm pin high, but I've now got a tricky up and down from here, although I do have 2 chances at it. Right, I'm going to try and chunk this onto the front edge of the green and then just let it release up from there. See how we go. About there. Okay, well that one's gone to less than a foot, so I'll do pretty well to hit it any closer than that. Second one didn't get quite such a good kick. Oh man. Tell you what, if I was playing my first ball on these today, I'd be absolutely flying. Don't forget to rake bunkers. I'm watching you. A tiny bit right to left, a little bit downhill, and we've got 2 chances at this. Well, that's a good start, isn't it? Oh man, I thought I had. And putt for bogey. 1, 2. Okay, 2 bogeys. Back-to-back bogeys. Back-to-back bogeys. Rats. 4th hole here is a par 5. Up the hill round the corner, only tree on the golf course. All of the things that if you've watched some of my videos before you will already know. My goal is to hit 2 absolutely perfect tee shots straight down the middle of the fairway. It's got to stay in the air on that line. Stay in the air. Can't tell on the bounce. It might be in the second bunker up the left. That one was middle of the fairway. A little bit out of the bottom and neck. Oh, but it's perfect. Let's hope the first one's not too bad. What I'm going to do here, because this is a bit of YouTube fun, is I'm going to take a bit more of a risk than I probably normally would in this situation, because if you can't do it now, then when can you do it? I've got 220 yards to the green here, and I'm going to hit a 5 iron. I don't think I can reach, but I can certainly get fairly close if I strike this well. First ball was in the middle of the fairway. Sorry, second ball was in the middle of the fairway, and the first one's here, so let's see if we can get this up to the green somewhere. 2 tries at it. Right foot slipped slightly on that one. That one's just leaked off to the right. Not great, but not too bad. When I'm playing fairway bunker shots, my key thing here is feel like I'm trying to hit the top of the golf ball. Make sure I don't take too much sand. That is the main focus on a fairway bunker shot. That was much better. That was just on the run up to the green. So it looks like I'm going to be playing the first one, which wasn't quite as good. Just for some context, that's where the second ball finished, which would leave me a pretty straightforward chip onto the green. This is where the first one finished, which as you can see is a little bit further away. This flag is at the front of the green, red flag. My main focus from this particular shot is to make sure that the ball finishes on the green with both of these shots to give myself a chance at the birdie putt. Although we're playing worst ball, if I'm getting birdie putts on worst ball, even on par 5s, then I'm going to be pretty happy. Okay, that one looks like it's gone to about, well from here it looks like it's gone to about a foot. Probably a bit further than that. Same as that. Oh, I tell you what, I'll probably take either of those from here. That's the first one that's right next to the flag there. Second one is the one that's on the left. I've got to say I'm pretty happy with both of those. Can't be too disappointed with either of those two, can we? This one here is my preferable shot, but I am going to have to play from the worst ball, as the name of the game suggests. However, I've got two chances at birdie here. Rubbish. Oh, fired it through the break. Worst ball, got to go from the one that's further away. 5. Well, through the first 4 holes, I've made 2 pars, 2 bogeys. I've hit some really nice shots. If I was playing my first ball on most occasions, or playing the best ball on most occasions, then I'd probably be a couple under par. As it is, I'm 2 over par, but that's still not a bad result. On this occasion, I've teed both of these balls up ready to be hit straight away, one after each other, and you'll notice obviously that I've got the big dog out. Now, I could hit a smaller club from here and just try and play for the plateau at the top of the fairway, but if I hit 2 average tee shots, then that's going to be a really tough second shot. If I hit 2 average tee shots with a driver, which is going to go a little bit further than that, we hope, then my second shot's still going to be easier into this green. Oh, the second one was better. Jeepers. I just realised when I went and picked up that other ball that I probably should have shown you where it finished. But the second one was about another 20 or so yards up the fairway. 118 yards I've got to the flag from here. My goal again is just to get both of these on the green. If I can hit one of them or both of them close, then great, but let's just aim for middle of the green. I'm hitting a gap wedge to try and take a little bit of spin off this. Bit of a pull, sit. Oh, second time round's much better. Spin left. Be reasonably happy with both of those. Obviously played that one quite nicely because my spin just kind of jumped me forward and stopped on the second bounce, so I'm glad I chose the club that I did, because there's always the possibility with that sort of distance of approach shot that you could hit it with not quite enough club, try and hit it a bit harder to make sure it gets there. That's going to have a lot of spin and drag the ball a lot further back than we wanted to. So I could have probably reached the flag here or reached the right distance with a sand wedge, but it would have been coming in with a lot more spin, and that's going to mean I'm going to be jazzing back that way some direction. So I'm pretty happy with the one that I chose. Settle. Yeah, pretty good for pace. That's a better line. Yep, pretty happy with both of those. I've played this hole in this game perfectly because both of these are going to be very much makeable for my par. And if you're making pars in a game of worst ball, you are definitely doing something right. Something I'm sure most golfers will be familiar with is the feeling when you stand on a hole that it just doesn't quite suit your eye. I've always found that with this hole. It's a little dog leg to the left, and I think because there's just so much space out on the left hand side, which is kind of dead land, it just doesn't play with my head right. I feel like I should be able to just take a straight line over there and take the shortest route to the hole, but if you do hit it left there, you just run the risk of not being able to find it, and that's just a killer. I have in the past hit lots of drivers on this hole, and I think that realistically that's probably the play. Play it over that left hand bunker, try and get it to finish in the middle of the fairway and a flick onto the green. But in a game like worst ball, I want to try and give myself the best opportunity of having both balls in play off the tee, and as a result I'm going to hit 2-iron as straight down the fairway as I can, playing at the left edge of the bunker at the far end of the fairway. That's a really good start. Second one in the same spot, please. Just let that one get away from me a bit, pushed it off to the right slightly. That would have been perfect. Rats. This is 158 yards to the flag, and I have a feeling that this might be a bit of a flyer lie. So I'm actually hitting a 9-iron here in the hope that it does fly a bit and carries a bit further towards the flag. I've struck it really well. Yeah, it's just running up onto the green. Happy with that. Oh, that could be even better. Yeah, one either side of the hole. We will take it. I would say this one is slightly closer, probably the slightly easier putt. And so I'm going to play from ball number 1. Roll out. It was right on line as well. Better putt. Oof. Smashed it at the hole a little bit. That one's a bit long. Further away is always harder, isn't it? He says. Well, the positive thing is here that I'm making lots of pars. I'm giving myself birdie opportunities as well, which is also positive. But I'm not making lots and lots of mistakes, and that's very good. One of the things I think is so useful about this sort of format for playing some practice is that it kind of reframes the way that you think about bad shots, because you've always got to try and recover from them. And when we hit a bad shot on the golf course, if it's our only golf ball, our thought is, oh man, why did I hit such a bad shot? I wanted to hit a good one. And of course, you're always going to want to hit good shots, and particularly in this game, you want to hit 2 good shots. But when you do hit a bad shot, you think to yourself, right, okay, I've got to give myself the best opportunity with both of these attempts at this to make sure I don't make too big of a score. So it just reframes the way that you think about some of the positions that you put yourself in the golf course and some of the types of shots you have to play. And if you think more positively on the golf course, that's got to be a good thing, surely. I've got to say, I think when it comes to playing worst ball, that par 3s are probably the hardest part, because on a par 4 or a par 5, you can hit a bad tee shot and make a recovery. On a par 3, if you hit a really bad tee shot with one of these 2 golf balls, and that's the one that you've got to choose, it certainly makes the game a lot more difficult. I've hit it well once. Get on the green. That one's really good. That is the way to play worst ball. Not hit a bad ball. Player. I mean, I've got a chance at a birdie. The pace is the key. About there looks good. Roll out. Break. Hit one a little harder than the other. Second one not quite as good as the first. So we putt from there. Let's just check my normally horrible framing to see if we're still in frame. Hey, we've done it once. About there is good. Right edge and trickled. I'm absolutely delighted with that, by the way. 2 really good shots onto the green after just saying that the par 3s are the hardest thing to do for this particular format. And a pretty straightforward par. The 8th hole, a par 5. If I hit a couple of decent tee shots here, so that my worst ball is still in a good position, I'm going to give myself a decent chance at making a birdie here and getting back to 1 over par compared to 2 over par, which would be fabulous. Hopefully you can still see this, because this is going straight back into the sun, which, by the way, is baking hot today. Scorchio, as they say in Spain. That's an absolute belter. Part 1 done. Nice little puff of dust as that one bounced down the middle of the fairway. Oh, goodness gracious me. I've hit 2 absolute blinders. Oh. Well, there's my 2 tee shots. There is not too much difference between those 2. The one on the right is maybe slightly further up. The one on the left potentially has a slightly better angle. So I think either of these would be considered as being the worst ball, because They are both pretty darn good. I'm going to play from this one on the left because it is a little bit further away, and I feel like that is, you know, maybe an opportunity to call it a worst ball. Just waiting for the green to clear up ahead of me. I've got 210 yards from where I've managed to pop these two tee shots. There was 11 yards between them. And actually, when you're playing a game of worst ball, if you've got 11 yards between tee shots and they're both straight down the middle of the fairway, you can't really ask for much better than that, can you? Apologies for how much I'm frowning, by the way. I don't need Botox, although maybe I do. It's just because I'm going straight back into the sun here. So I might need your help watching where these ones finish. Righto, I'm going to be hitting a 4-iron here because I've got 210. A 4-iron, if I get hold of it, should go 220-ish through the air, and that's going to mean that I've got a good chance of getting this ball to finish on the green. If I give myself an eagle putt playing worst ball, that would be awesome. That is straight at the flag. Oh yeah, we're on the green. We're on the green. Okay, get some sun cream out my eyes. Not tears because it was such a good shot. And same again. Oh my goodness me, I've hit that one even better. Sit. Oh yeah. One just left, one just right. I think I might have an eagle putt. Boom! Here's the result. This one over here on the right hand side is a little bit closer to the hole. That was the second ball. That was the first ball. I'm going to play from there. Miracles could happen, and we could hold both of these putts. I'll tell you what, I'm delighted with that. Really delighted with that. That tells me what I need to do with the second one as well, is play a little bit less break. About there would be good. Break. So close. But I have just made a worst ball birdie. That is the sign of some good golf. I couldn't be happier with one more hole to play. I couldn't be happier. That's the greatest day. I don't think I'll make it as a singer. Or a dancer. Many a time I've hit more club than this down here, but it's bouncy, it's fiery, there's water on the right hand side. I want to make sure I hit 2 good tee shots. I feel more comfortable hitting a 2-iron off this tee than I do anything else. So I'm just going to try and pump one straight between the middle of the 2 bunkers on the left hand side of the fairway here and give myself a chance to go for the green in 2 on a difficult finishing hole to the front 9. Hold on. I got a lucky bounce. That was not a good shot, but we've got lucky. We're probably going to be playing from down there though. Just make sure you don't hit this one in the water. That is a horrible mindset. Horrible mindset. Okay, let's think about something different. We don't want to think about where the bad outcome is. We want to think about the good outcome. Let's go through a proper routine. Straight between the middle of those 2 bunkers on the left hand side. Nice smooth swing. Exit left. Good rhythm. I'm so glad I did that. That's actually a really good lesson to learn. If you're standing on the tee and you're thinking about the negative outcome that could possibly happen just before you go and take your shot, it's likely that you're going to manifest that actually happening. So what you want to do is go through a solid routine, think about the positive outcome of what you want to try and achieve. And I'm not saying you're going to guarantee you're going to hit a perfect golf shot, but you've certainly got a much better chance of hitting a good one than if you're thinking something negative. That is something to learn. Like I said on the tee there, I've got a little bit lucky. It's a lottery when the ball comes over to this right hand side of the fairway because it's very firm and it could bounce straight off into the drink, which wouldn't be good. 205 to the flag. I don't know how well you can see it on there. It's a white flag, back flag. This is a big green here for the 9th hole. And I'm actually going to hit a 6-iron to avoid the risk of me going long. However, if it's not quite the right club, I can always change for the second one. So we'll see. Just a nice smooth 6-iron. Middle of the green, we hope. Oh goodness me, I could not hit that any better. It is all over the flag. Go. Wow. Cracking strike. Literally couldn't hit that any better, like right in the middle of the bat. Not quite enough. I'm going to hit 5-iron with the second one. Left hand side of it. Oh, just missed the left edge of the green. That's going to be the one I'm playing. Should have hit 2 6-irons. First thing to say about this one is that I'm glad I did hit the 5-iron second time round, because on that line, if I had hit the 6, it would have gone in the bunker that's just short of this green here on the left hand side. The 6-iron was middle of the green. It was a really good shot, to be fair. I struck it great. So I'm just going to talk you through the way I play this little shot here. This is just a little delicate bump and run. My goal here is to get this ball to land about 2 paces onto the green. So in this situation it's going to be about here, and then it's going to release the rest of the way to the hole. It's slightly downhill towards the hole from there, and so I'm trying to choose a club that's going to be appropriate to land the ball in that position and then roll the rest of the way. In this occasion I've picked a little sand wedge. There's not a great deal of wrist movement or hinge or anything here. This is just a nudge the ball forward, get it to land in that spot and just release to the hole. Got so much sun cream in my eyes. Oh, it's like my eyes are made up of sun cream. About there. Okay, very happy. I've obviously got a putt from the one that's slightly further away. That's one. Great stuff. There we go. There's a 9 holes of worst ball. This is a great format to play if you've not got any playing partners to play with, because you've got no friends. But yeah, it's just a great way to kind of get yourself around the golf course, to kind of add a little bit of spice to what would otherwise be a fairly kind of straightforward 9 or 18 holes. Obviously you can do this over 18 holes as well. And the goal really is to just try and shoot the best score that you can with that bad golf ball. And it just kind of, like I said, changes that mindset slightly in the way that you think about some of the shots that you're going to have to play. Because if you do hit a bad shot, you've got to go and play from that bad one. And so you've got to try and think the best outcome you can achieve from that position. I'm really pleased with 1 over for 9 holes there. Particularly pleased that I gave myself an eagle birdie putt on the 8th hole, and I'm pretty pleased about how I played generally. You know, there's the occasional bad shot, and obviously this has slightly more consequence in a format like this because that's the one that I've got to go and play. Give that a go. Let me know how you get on playing worst ball, and obviously adjust for your handicap and things like that. Let me know in the comments how you get on. Let me know what you think to the video. Let me know if you think of any great ideas that I can go and film for you, anything you want to see, and I will see you next time.